Video number 4 of constructions. Today I'm doing CS4, which is all about creating perpendicular lines through a point. So we are doing this one right here. So take your booklet, right? Make sure that you have the booklet, a pen or pencil. You're going to want a straight edge, so if you don't have one, pause, find something to make a straight line with. If you have your compass, it would be really useful, and you make correct curves, otherwise just sketch. And it's always good to have like a highlighter or a color. Okay, so take your booklet and open it up to CS4. You have lots of room now. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Alright. Okay, so today we are learning how to construct perpendicular lines through a point. Super long name, but not hard to do. Okay, there you go. How to construct perpendicular lines through a point. Okay, so for this construction, what you're usually given is you're given a line. I'm going to make a straight line. And you're always given a point. We'll call it point A. Okay? Now, sometimes the point will be above, sometimes it will be below, sometimes it might even be on the line. It doesn't matter. So today I'm just going to do it like it's above it, but it could essentially be anywhere in the picture. Okay? So step 1, make sure I'm in the screen. Alright, step 1 is you take your, let me redraw what I originally have. So we have a line with point A above it. Really quick, let me just write what we're given. So we're given a line and a point. And it's important to realize what you're given, because in the previous video, all about just creating perpendicular bisectors, you notice in that one they only gave you a line. In this one, they gave you a line and they gave you a point. Alright, so that's the way you determine the difference between CS3 and CS4, which is the one we're doing today. So anyways, back to step 1. Your first step is sort of setting it up so that you can do CS3, because CS4 and CS3 are almost exactly the same. The only difference is step 1. And step 1 is taking your compass, okay? Put the pointy part on your point. So you can see, here's the pointy part on the point, okay? And then open up your compass. It doesn't really matter how big, as long as it's not so big that you don't even touch the line when you go out here. So you notice this would be way too big, because when I make my curve, it won't even hit the line, right? But do remember, it is a line, not a line segment. So just to clarify, this is a line. So really, you could make it longer if you need to. But I'm not going to. All right, so create a curve. Whoops. Hold on, let me get my pen to work. Remember, sometimes it's easier if you move the paper instead of the compass. Okay? So just to watch it in here. Here is step 1. Okay, and like I said, you could extend your line, because it is a line, not a line segment. Okay? So your first step is to draw an arc from point, in this case A, draw an arc from point A to intersect with line. Okay, and the reason we did this is in order to change this line into a line segment. Alright, so what you create are two intersection points which we will call B and C. Okay, so let's just make a note over here. Alright, creates segment BC. Move this up for you. Alright, so this is step 1. Alright, you draw an arc from point A to intersect with your line, and what it creates is a line segment BC. Okay. Step 2, move my paper up for you. There you go. Okay. Remember, we're doing CS4. Okay. Step 2, you take your picture. Essentially, step 2 throughout the rest of the steps is just CS3 continued. Alright. So, to redraw what we have so far, right? So we had a line, we had a point, and then we created an arc. Notice I just sketched it. So if you don't have a compass today, that's what you can do. Just sketch it, okay? Now what you're going to do is you're essentially going to do what step 1 in CS3. So I'm just going to refer back to really quick, okay? So step 1 was creating that arc, right, from point A with a radius that's about half or a little bit bigger than half the line, okay? So take your compass, and you're going to actually do it from B, because this is the end of your segment. And you just make it a little bit bigger in half, so don't make it all the way to C, just a little bit bigger than half, and you just create an arc. Make sure it's really big, so it should go past A on both sides. There you go. Okay, so here is an arc. Alright, now let's write. There's my pen. Keep track of all your supplies. Okay? Okay, so what we did here, okay, is we drew an arc from, now notice this one was from point A, this time it's from point B with radius more than half segment BC. Okay? And remember, this is step 1 of perpendicular bisector construction. And just remember, the symbol for perpendicular is essentially it's a T upside down. Okay, so that means perpendicular. Okay, so that's step 2. All we did was draw this blue arc right here. Okay, so now I'm going to move over and do step 3. So step 3. Now, in order to do step 3, I'm going to redraw my picture. Okay, so we had a line, and we had a point, and then we created an arc like this, right? And then we did a really big arc like this. So now what you're going to do is you're going to do the same arc as step 2, but from C this time. Okay, so you're going to take your compass and you're going to put it on C. Now make sure you have the same width as B. So notice if you go back down here and you measure how big the radius was, you want to use the same radius as you did from B, except on C. Just check. Okay. And what will happen is it'll cross. Like so. Okay, so this was step number 3. Now this is a little off because I sketched it, but that's okay, because the point is just to know what to do so that when you actually have the real tools, you can do the real thing. Okay, so this is same as step number 2, but draw arc from point C. Okay. You want to make a note. Make sure 2 arcs cross. So that's step 2 and step 3 arcs, not this arc from step 1. Okay. Alright, just one more step. Step 4. Now in this step, I'm going to make sure to do the drawing just right with my compass so you can really see what's going on. So I'm just going to repeat it. So you start with a line, with a point A, right? Now remember, this is a line, not a line segment. Okay? The first thing we did was draw an arc from point A. Okay, so there was my step 1. Okay, that created B and C. Okay, and then step 2, you make your compass a little bit bigger than half. Make sure this doesn't move. Like so. Okay, and then you do the same thing, but from C. I want to just check my radius. Right, and notice it crossed a lot nicer this time because I used the compass, right? That's the point. Okay, but your last step is to take your straight edge, this thing, right? Straight edge, remember, it doesn't have to be a protractor. It just has to be something that makes a straight edge. Okay, and essentially what you do is you line up your 2 x's, right? X down here, X down here, line them up, and draw a line. Okay? Now, if you did it correctly, your line will go through a point. So it will go through point A, which mine just about worked. And notice I'm a little off down here, which is probably why it's a little off down here. Alright, so draw a line to connect 2 intersections. Sorry, so it says intersections. Let me zoom in for you so you can really see. Draw a line to connect 2 intersections from arcs in steps 2 and 3. Okay, and line should go through point A and create 90-degree angles. So there you go. It went through point A, and notice it makes that perfect T a right angle. And that is how you draw perpendicular lines through a point. Okay, now don't go away yet, okay? Because at the top, right, you always want